Hello, my name is John Steichen and my wife Victoria Steichen. We moved to Panama in October of 2020 and we've been here a little over 5 months now. I'm originally from northwest Minnesota by way of Montana, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and now Panama. So that kind of gives you the run. We lived in Michigan 5 years, the northern part of the Mitt, and the winters were getting colder. The growing seasons were getting shorter, and we had good friends in Indiana that had been looking at Panama, and Panama, I guess, had always been a plan B or C for us. So we decided to look into that more seriously. And in May of last year of 2019, no, it would be 2020. Yeah, May of 2020. We had 10 inches of snow on May 10th, and that sealed the deal, and we go, okay, we got to do something. And we made a decision to move to Panama. We sold the house within a few days after having it marketed, and from May to October, middle of October, we had made the move.
Yeah, it happened really fast. Once we made the decision, we started looking into how to find information, and that's how it led us to finding Panama Relocation Tours. It was easily accessible, and we jumped on the phone calls that Jackie had every Saturday. It was like, we gotta be on that call, and we just sat in silent, several Saturdays in silent, and suddenly one Saturday I say, I have a question, I'm gonna get online and ask my question. And all those calls were very informative. Many of the questions that people have, we started just writing down information and gathering, what we needed to do. Legal documents, to how to move with 2 dogs to come over. We wanted to do the tour, and the tours were pretty much booked up for a year, so we kind of didn't want to wait a year to come to explore Panama. She put out the online guide, and a very resourceful guide for us. We use a lot of, and continue to use it to this day, from just general idea on temperatures, to altitudes, to contacts for how to bring the dogs over, all the paperwork and the timeline of paperwork required, to lead for an immigration lawyer, paperwork so we can line up how to change our driver's licenses, where to rent a car. We even started thinking how to get our mail here, so shipping a pallet of our things, to how to forward our mail here. So we landed in Boquete mid-October. Basically, before Boquete, we were in an RV in a camping ground in Michigan, waiting for the signal of the borders to open. And as soon as that happened, we have some of our paperwork done already that had a window of 6 months. So as long as the borders would open within 6 months, we were gonna be okay. And we got our tickets, and mid-October we were here. We landed in Boquete, jumped right away on getting a bank account and contact our attorney with our paperwork. In Boquete, we got to meet a lot of people quickly. who were in the same airplane with us to people who were coming every day, you know. And that was, you know, a good place to start for us. You know, we had an Airbnb for several weeks, and after we got some of the legal documents rolling, so to speak, because things take time, we decided to do private tours.
Private tour
Was the way to go for us. So in Boquete we used Gerardo, and he was fantastic. He just had such a great demeanor. He answered all our questions.
We did the 2-day tour with Gerardo.
Yeah.
One day was just around Boquete, and then the second day was down in David, which is south of Boquete, and took us all around, showed us not just the sights, but the shopping, the coffee places, I guess, too. So
yeah, he took us to Price Mart. We got a membership right away.
That's
that
right.
was important. Show us.
Price Mart is like a Costco.
Yeah.
So, and that's where you can get a lot of American-made products, as well as all over the world, essentially.
He showed us just the area in general, but I think we used a lot of our time. We had 2 notebooks going on with questions, because he have dogs too. I believe he have 5 dogs. So once I found that out, we brought 2 dogs with us. So it was important to know, okay, if what vet do you go to? You know, that was important to us too. We started looking at how to purchase a car, and he also had some contacts that he gave us to contact, and just to put some information out of what kind of vehicle we were looking for and our price range, just details like that. He was very useful.
Yeah, very good, very good. And then it was, what was it? Beginning of November of 2020, we lined a tour up, and it was also a 2-day tour. He took us around Volcan and the countryside. That was a rainy season too, and those who followed, maybe the weather, there were a couple different hurricanes that kind of hit Panama, or just on the kind of a glancing blow with some of the heavy rain, and we were in Volcan during one of those real heavy storms, and they had some flooding and landslides. So I think we saw Volcan during the peak of the rainy season.
So here in Volcan, it have pretty much all the stores and things that we have come to need. If I were to count the supermarkets, we have probably 6 or 7 supermarkets here. So it's always an adventure, but you don't find in one, you go to the next, and you go to the next, and eventually you can check off everything on your list. Same, we have several hardware stores here that you found pretty much everything we needed here.
Yeah.
And then there are also some local stores that slowly but surely we gotten to know better, that have a lot of the tools and supplies needed for the garden, as well as our chicken coop and our chickens. So we have found just pretty much everything that we need in the area. I would say that Volcan is a little bit bigger than the town we came from in northern Michigan. That being said, we are a little bit away from the town, so if you were to do a 360 around us, you pretty much just see the Volcan Baru to one side, and then we have our neighbors to the left and to the right, or at least to 2 of our sides is pretty much cows. So it's pretty quiet out here, and you just go in town, do your things, and come right back.
Probably some of the more memorable things that come to mind when we first came to Panama was arriving in Boquete, and we did get involved very quickly, making contact with friends at Boquete Bible Fellowship, a large expat community there with Panamanian attenders as well. And there's a number of individuals that are involved or actually head up ministries. And we got involved with MAP, Missions Assist Panama. In some of the first weeks here in Boquete in Panama, this was right after the heavy rains, or actually before the heavy rain and after. We were in the comarca, you might say, the Indian reservation, the Nube, Bugle tribes up in the Saloy, Baha'i area, which is east and north of David, or pretty much straight east of Boquete. But I think it was after the heavy rains came, the flooding. We were involved with a caravan that brought in food and clothing to those who had everything washed away. A number of them had lost their lives. So it was very memorable, and being able to help out fairly rapidly. And since that experience, we have deep ties still with friends back in Boquete. And it's been amazing how small of a world Panama is. Even though Boquete is on the other side of the volcano Baru, there are people who know people in Volcan very, very closely as well. So we continue to be involved with ministries in the comarca region in the Volcan area. So the opportunities are very much available for those individuals who want to become involved into the Panamanian culture or the Panamanian lifestyle, helping in some aspect. From an insurance standpoint, we are not holding insurance. We've decided to essentially self-insure ourselves. We're both in pretty good physical health and do not feel like we need insurance at this time. I'm 62 and my wife is
55.
55.
That's out there.
So, but there have been an occasion you had a crown that needed to be repaired back in December. So
Yes.
Go ahead.
So December 30, I feel like something's wrong in my mouth and started checking it out, and I'm missing half a tooth, and this was half a crown. So I immediately, reach out through the Facebook groups. Also, WhatsApp is the most used way of communicating here, and the little time that we've been here, we've been able to make lots of friends that communicate through WhatsApp, and you just put a question out there to those people and through Facebook, hey, any dentist that you would recommend nearby or in David, and then from there I found a dentist. We go to David, and I'm very happy with her. The cost, it's amazing. It just blows your mind, the cost of things here. She did the x-ray in her own little office, and I think I paid $27. And then she explained to me what needed to be done, and at the end of multiple visits to get fitted for the crown, it cost me $500. Something that in the States, in Michigan, through your former employer benefit would have been quoted probably at $1,500 or so, and they might have paid, the plan might have come into top 50% of that.
Living expenses here in Volcan compared to the States, some things are less expensive, and I would say some things are just as expensive or more. It all depends. We have a house here in Volcan that we're renting. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, at least a 2,000 square foot, and we pay $800 a month. And then the electricity runs about $15 a month. And then our propane for hot water and cooking is probably $10 a month. And we probably go through 1.5 containers of propane. So total, utility-wise, utilities are very inexpensive here. Rent, I would say, is quite a bit cheaper here than be back in the States.
Well, our temperature here is so comfortable that you don't use a heater and you don't need air conditioner. So some of the rooms came already equipped with fans, and if not, we bought 1 or 2 portable fans, and it works out fine. It's the perfect temperature. This house came semi-furnished, so all of the basic things, your table, your chairs, a love seat, a bedroom set, end tables and things of that nature, plus almost everything in the kitchen also, utensils and so on, and a stackable washer and dryer as well. So when we decided to sell our house and most of our belongings, you start scaling down, and you end up having things in a storage room. And we really couldn't part from a few things and wanted to make sure that we were able to ship things to us here. So we decided to build a pallet, and we made a really strong pallet. Even the company that we hired in the state told us that they never seen a pallet so well constructed, because it was real secure. Either way, this pallet had close to 50 boxes, close to 900 pounds of items. Somehow it kept adding up. I don't know how. There was no tools there.
Wow.
and none of my clothes, but either way, it continued to add up. And it took 3 weeks to get to Florida, and then from Florida, through a local company, brought it to the Boquete area. And funny enough that when it got to Boquete, we already had made up our mind we were moving to Volcan. So then that person found somebody to bring it over here for a very affordable cost of moving 40-50 boxes. So we were very thrilled with that. And that was good. We continued to use whichever local ways of ordering through Amazon if we want something specific, or if friends are mailing us something, and it gets here eventually. Eventually. If you're thinking of exploring Panama, moving to Panama, there's a sense of adventure to it, and a little bit of what is it gonna be like, and am I gonna be okay? We put all that aside and say, let's jump into it. We haven't been here to visit, but I'm fluent in Spanish because Spanish is my first language, so I knew that was gonna help John a lot. But I should tell you, he is taking Spanish lessons twice a week now, because I am stopped, no longer translator for him. So we use the guide a lot, the online guide, write a lot of questions, sit through those conference calls on Saturdays are very important. Get online to ask your own question. Have plan A, B, and C, because sometimes you go off to get an appointment, and guess what? There's a change of plans. Have something else. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it ruin your day. because there's no reason for that. You just go with the punches and be flexible.
And verify your appointments.
Verify your appointments.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
good advice.
Yeah. Probably getting on some of the expat website groups, putting questions out there. It's kind of who you know. Well, it's actually a lot who you know.
It's a lot who you know.
And who can help me with this? Who can help me with that? And ask enough questions, and you can find the resources to get your questions answered or projects taken care of.